Hey, what's up, fishing buddies? Okay, I promised you a video about Zoom trick worms. Phil asked me what the best winter bait was around here. This may not be the best, but this is a bait that you can use year-round, and there are about 6 different ways, 7 if you count Carolina and Texas as 2, ways to rig this up. I got my buddy Luke with me, my big boy. Give me 5. Luke is 10 years old, and he does a lot of videos too, but he don't put them on YouTube. Luke is mildly autistic, and he is a very special boy, ain't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, but first, I've got one set up already, and it's set up on the shaky head. The shaky head is my favorite way to use a trick worm. And if you have to pick a color, go with a green pumpkin, red flake, watermelon, red flake, one of those colors. If you have to pick a color and that's all you got. These are $5 a pack, and you get 20 in a pack. So it gives you a lot of bang for your buck, and you can use this seven different ways, okay? And you just might have to modify it a little bit, which we'll show you. But this is you're going to set it up on a shaky head, just like this, and that's going to be on the bottom. And that tail's going to drive them crazy, And you're going to use this color in more of a clear color, slightly stained. If possible, you might want to go with a white or a color like that if the water's really stained. Maybe something with some chartreuse in it, a black with blue flake, June bug color, something like that. Okay, you've got that. And then you can set it up Texas rig, okay? Let me get another one out of the pack here, and I'll show you how to set up a Texas rig. Texas rig, simple. All a Texas rig is, you go through the nose, maybe 1/4 of an inch, slide it up through there, and then you're going to see where it comes out, where the longest part of that's going to be, okay? And then that's where you're going to stick your hook through. You're going to slide that hook through there on that longest part. Okay? And there you have your Texas rig. You want that to be as straight as you can. Okay? And that's weedless. You can throw that in cover and everything. And now, you can also set it up and you can kind of Texpose it, is what it's called, is where you stick the hook out a little bit to where it catches. Now you can't throw this in as much cover doing it this way, but it helps with the hook set. The fish kind of hooks himself in a sense. But otherwise, you hide that hook, and when that bites, the fish will bite down on that, and that's when you're going to set the hook for that. Okay, so we got you can put a weight in front of this with bobber stops, beads, whatever you want to do. And you can set it up Carolina style or just plain Texas rig. And you need to go to maybe another video and look that up. I don't really have time to go over each and every setup as it is. Okay, so let's take that out. And next you got wacky. You can set it up wacky style. Wacky style, simple. Take a circle hook of any kind. You can use weighted hooks. I like to use weighted hooks a lot in the water because I fish river systems, and I like to fish deep with it sometimes, so I'll set it up weighted. But non-weighted, it's going to stay in that strike zone a lot longer. But the fish are usually going to hit this on the fall. That's how a wacky rig is set up. And the fish are going to usually hit this on the fall. You'll let it hit the bottom and let it sit there just for a couple seconds, and then give it a few pops. Pop it back up and let it fall again. A lot of times you get your hits on the fall, and sometimes right as soon as it hits the water, you'll hit it. You'll think you're hung on a branch or something, and it'll be a fish. Okay, so there we have the shaky head, wacky style, Texas and Carolina rig. You can also Ned rig this, okay? If you Ned rig this, you're going to want to take off some. I'm not going to do it for this purpose, but you're going to take off some to where maybe you just have 3 to 4 inches, somewhere in that range, to Ned rig this. And a Ned rig, all you do, you take it through, and it's going to pop. You know, it's going to look like that, except shorter. You know, so it's going to look like this down there, like that. Okay. Ned rig, simple setup. Now, also, not many people do this, but you can set this up also like you would a fluke. And is that funny?
Yeah.
You would just you can set it up like you would a fluke as well. Okay. So pop that out. Get that as straight as you can, and you'll set that up like a fluke. You can have a weighted hook under there. Okay, and you can work it just like you would a fluke. You let it drop. It's going to fall. It's going to shake as it falls, and then pop it a few times, just like you would if you was working a fluke of some sort. Okay, and the other way to do this is you can Texas rig. I always use the VMC spin shot for my. Well, this is one you would Texas rig it on, but it's for a drop shot. I always use these for a drop shot. You don't have to. You can use a regular circle hook. You can use a wide gap offset hook to set it up, which you probably would for a longer style. But if you bit some of this off, you could use it circle hook. But I usually set that up on maybe 8 to 12 pound test line, depending on what you're going to use. It's a finesse. I use a spinning reel. My drop shot reel, I usually use Mitchell reel 300 Pro, and I use about a 12 pound test line because I got a heavier setup, 7-foot rod. But I also use the small hook, a 1/0 hook maybe, with a lighter tackle, maybe 6 pound or so. But you set that up, you know, you'll have your weight below it, and your bait up here, and you want to keep some tension on that line to where the water does the work. You want the water doing the work. The movement of your hand, you don't have to bounce it a lot, and you can bring that in slow. Let the water do the work, the current, and you'll catch a lot of fish like that. Drop shot is one of my favorite ways of fishing. If you'll notice, a lot of times too in professional bass tournaments, when the bite is tough and they're trying to get them smallmouth here up north, especially around them rocks and structure, they use their electronics, and that's important too. And they'll find those fish, and they'll set up a drop shot rig, and bam, there you have it. I mean, you'll catch them. That's just the way it is. But that is if I only had $10, I'd buy me some hooks, ways that I could set up, and I would get a pack of Zoom trick worms. Next in line, I'd probably get Senkos. But if I didn't have a lot of money, and I had some different style hooks and things like that, and some sinkers, that's a good way to set up. If you're on a budget, you know, you could set this up with $10. You could set up maybe 4 different ways with a Zoom trick worm. But this is kayak bassing. This is Mr. Luke, one of the Baileysville Bass Boys, Clear Fork Bassing. Check out my website, like and subscribe. And tomorrow, I'm trying to get on the water tomorrow. I'm gonna take my boy fishing. So keep watching the videos, keep sharing, liking, subscribing. I need all the help I can get. Visit my website, www.clearforkbassing.com. Set up a float trip. We'll be starting those in the spring as soon as we can, as soon as the weather breaks a little bit and people start ready to take vacations and do this. And we will see y'all next time.